The Steelers were crushing the Packers until everything fell apart. In just one half, a 16-point lead vanished like it never existed. Jordan Love caught fire in the second half, turning what looked like an easy win for Pittsburgh into pure chaos. Each throw pushed the tension higher, and by the time it was over, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers were left stunned, unsure how it all slipped away. Rodgers was returning to Lambeau Field for the first time as an opposing player after 18 seasons in Green Bay. Love was facing the man he backed up for 3 years, now with the opportunity to prove the Packers made the right decision in choosing him as Rodgers' successor. Pittsburgh entered the game with a 4-2 record following a Week 7 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Green Bay held a 5-2 record after defeating the Houston Texans in Week 7. The first half belonged to Pittsburgh. The Steelers built a 16-7 lead at halftime, with their defense limiting Love's effectiveness and forcing the Packers into difficult situations. Rodgers managed the game efficiently, avoiding turnovers and executing the game plan. Pittsburgh's defensive pressure disrupted Green Bay's timing, and the Steelers appeared in control heading into the locker room. The second half was a different story entirely. Love completed 22 of 32 passes for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game, with the majority of that production coming after halftime. The Packers outscored Pittsburgh 28-9 in the final 2 quarters, erasing the deficit and pulling away for a convincing victory. Green Bay's offense found rhythm, exploiting mismatches in Pittsburgh's secondary and establishing a balanced attack that kept the Steelers' defense off balance. The collapse marked a historic low point for Mike Tomlin's tenure with the Steelers. According to ESPN, this was the first time a Tomlin-coached Pittsburgh team lost by double digits after leading by at least 9 points at halftime. The statistical anomaly highlighted the severity of the second-half breakdown, as Tomlin's teams had previously been known for protecting leads and finishing games. Rodgers completed 24 of 36 passes for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in the loss. His stat line was respectable but insufficient to match Love's performance. The interception proved costly, coming on a third-quarter drive that could have extended Pittsburgh's lead. Instead, Green Bay capitalized on the turnover and scored on the ensuing possession to shift momentum. The Steelers' record dropped to 4-3 after the loss, their second consecutive defeat following the setback against Baltimore. Pittsburgh now faced questions about its ability to compete in the AFC playoff race. The offensive line struggled to protect Rodgers, allowing 3 sacks and consistent pressure throughout the game. The running game managed just 87 yards on 23 carries, failing to establish the physical presence that had been a hallmark of Steelers football. Love's performance was particularly notable given the circumstances. He outdueled his former mentor in front of the home crowd, delivering in the moments when the game was on the line. His 3 touchdown passes went to 3 different receivers, demonstrating the diversity of Green Bay's offensive weapons. The Packers' offensive line provided clean pockets, allowing Love to go through his progressions and make accurate throws downfield. Jordan Love was drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft with the 26th overall pick. The selection shocked many, as Aaron Rodgers was still the starting quarterback and had just come off a season where he threw for 4,002 yards and 26 touchdowns. The Packers' decision to draft Love created immediate tension, as Rodgers was not consulted about the move and learned of it through media reports during the draft. Love spent 3 seasons as Rodgers' backup, appearing in 10 games with just 1 start during that period. He completed 60.3% of his passes for 606 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, while serving primarily as a clipboard holder. The situation mirrored Rodgers' own experience as he sat behind Brett Favre for 3 seasons after being drafted in 2005. Rodgers completed just 59 passes in his first 3 years before taking over as the starter in 2008. The relationship between Rodgers and Love during those 3 seasons was reportedly professional but distant. Rodgers won consecutive MVP awards in 2020 and 2021, while Love waited for his opportunity. The Packers organization faced criticism for allowing a first-round pick to sit on the bench for 3 years, especially as Love's rookie contract would expire after his 4th season. Green Bay made the decision to move on from Rodgers after the 2022 season, trading him to the New York Jets in April 2023. Love became the starting quarterback for the 2023 season, completing 64.2% of his passes for 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. He led the Packers to a 9-8 record and a playoff berth, losing in the divisional round to the San Francisco 49ers. The 2024 season saw Love continue his development, throwing for 3,826 yards and 29 touchdowns against 13 interceptions. The Packers finished 11-6 and advanced to the NFC Championship game before falling to the Philadelphia Eagles. Love signed a 4-year, $220 million contract extension in July 2024, cementing his position as the franchise quarterback. Aaron Rodgers' journey from Green Bay to Pittsburgh was unconventional. After one season with the New York Jets that ended prematurely due to an Achilles tendon injury in Week 1 of the 2023 season, Rodgers attempted a comeback in 2024. He played the full season for the Jets, throwing for 3,647 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. The Jets finished 7-10, missing the playoffs and leading to organizational changes. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed Rodgers in June 2025 after cycling through multiple quarterbacks following Ben Roethlisberger's retirement. Mike Tomlin, who became the Steelers' head coach in 2007, had maintained a streak of never posting a losing season during his tenure. However, the quarterback position had been a persistent problem since Roethlisberger's departure after the 2021 season. The defensive collapse for Pittsburgh was equally concerning. The Steelers allowed 28 second-half points after surrendering just 7 in the first half. Green Bay averaged 7.2 yards per play in the second half compared to 4.1 in the first half. The adjustment period between halves clearly favored the Packers, who exploited weaknesses in Pittsburgh's coverage schemes and attacked the edges of the defense. Mike Tomlin's post-game comments acknowledged the breakdown. According to reports, he stated that the team failed to execute in critical moments and allowed Green Bay to dictate the pace in the second half. The loss raised concerns about Pittsburgh's ability to maintain competitiveness against elite opponents, especially with an aging quarterback who has publicly stated his intention to retire after the season. The victory improved Green Bay's record to 6-2, placing them in strong position within the NFC North Division. Love's development into a franchise quarterback appeared validated by his performance against Rodgers. The Packers' decision to move on from a future Hall of Famer in favor of a younger option was controversial at the time, but the results through nearly 3 seasons as a starter suggested the organization made the correct choice. Jordan Love's stat line of 360 passing yards and 3 touchdowns against 0 interceptions represented one of his best performances of the season. His passer rating of 128.4 for the game demonstrated efficiency and accuracy under pressure. The comeback victory also showcased his leadership ability as he rallied the team from a significant deficit against a defense known for its physicality and discipline. Aaron Rodgers, at 41 years old, showed flashes of his former brilliance but could not sustain excellence for 4 quarters. His 289 passing yards represented solid production, but the 1 interception and inability to respond to Green Bay's second-half surge proved decisive. The loss dropped Pittsburgh to 4-3 and created the first crisis of the Steelers' season, with back-to-back defeats raising concerns about the team's trajectory.